Good afternoon, Pottinger's class.
Good afternoon.
Today we finished adding and subtracting fractions. Can you add and subtract fractions?
Yes.
All right, a fraction, we know what a fraction is, part of the number one. Are there a lot more definitions for a fraction than that?
Yes.
You know where the numerator is on a fraction, you know where the denominator is on a fraction, but the denominator is kind of special, right?
Yes.
So the denominator is the first thing we look at when we're comparing, adding, or subtracting fractions. True or false?
True.
We talked about the movie Top Gun, and we said in Top Gun there was some sort of like trick where they wanted you to look at this girl on the screen every single time she was on the screen. I learned this when I was in college. They lit up her hair, right?
Yes.
So in fractions, what do we always light up?
The denominator.
So we call it the Top Gun method because we always light up or look at the denominator first, right?
Yes.
So you have to have a what kind of denominator in order to add and subtract fractions?
Common denominator.
And if you don't have a common denominator, you must find common what?
Multiple.
Of the denominators. So we're good. All right, so let's talk about this. We have a fraction 1/7 and we have a fraction 3/7.
Yes.
Could I add those two fractions together?
Yes.
Why?
That would have the same denominator.
The denominator is 7. It's the same, right?
Yes.
So I simply just add the numerator and the numerator, yeah?
Yes.
Do I keep my denominator the exact same?
Yes.
Yeah, we're not adding any more parts. We're keeping the parts the same. All right, this is a problem that we're going to walk through step by step. You guys ready for this?
Yes.
So if I have 2/5 and I'm adding it to 1/7, can I add those two fractions as they are?
No.
Why? They don't have a common denominator. So we light them up. We look at 5 and 7. We're like, okay, there's got to be a number that 5 and 7 both go into. What is a number that 5 and 7 both go into?
35.
So do I literally write my new denominators underneath my original fractions?
Yes.
And do I even write my operation sign?
Yes.
I'm halfway done with the problem if I just find a number that the denominators go into, a common multiple, right?
Yes.
After I write my denominators, I make what?
Bubble.
The bubbles is what's going to help us figure out what the numerators are, because we still don't know what the numerators are, right?
Yes.
So the 5 actually goes into 35 how many times?
7.
So that's the number we put inside our bubble, yeah?
Yes.
We also put it at the top of our bubble because that's what we're going to multiply the numerator by. What's 2 times 7?
14.
Write it down, we're good to go, yes?
Yes.
How do we get from 7 to 35?
Times 5.
So this bubble is a little bit different because we're multiplying by 5, right?
Yes.
What's 1 times 5?
5.
Can I now add these two fractions together?
Yes.
Because I have a common...
Denominator.
Is this our final?
Yes.
Why, when we did 9/12 minus 3/12, denominators are already the same, right?
Yes.
9 minus 3 is 6, right?
Yes.
Denominator stays 12, right?
Yes.
Why is that not the final answer?
Because you can simplify.
You can simplify or reduce it, right? If we divide by 2, we get 3/6, and we can divide by 3 and get 1/2. If we would have just divided by 6, the greatest common factor, we would have gotten 1/2 right away, right?
Yes.
I don't really care if you use the greatest common factor or not. I just want you to get to the reduced or lowest termed fraction. We good?
Yes.
Are all fractions required to be simplified or reduced from now on?
Yes.
Do we need to show all of our work on these kind of problems if we don't have a common denominator?
Yes.